And So, Notes on the Bible and Religion. Episode 21, Beaches, Cliffs, and Legions. It is Memorial Day as I write this column. 78 years ago, this June 6th, Allied forces invaded Europe on the beaches, hills, and cliffs of Normandy, France. D-Day. On the first day alone, more than 4,000 landing craft carried 150,000 plus troops to those shores. They were met by a capable enemy force under leadership gripped by a dark ideology. I am not a fan of war films. Saving Private Ryan from 1998 was enough for me, and I do not enjoy imagining the horrors of war. As a boy growing up during the Cold War, however, I played war. I remember taking my BB gun up the hill behind our house and imagining a Soviet invasion. I'd envision aiming for the eyes. With 2 quick shots, I could overcome my foe, and I would survive. Heroic. But age and such memorials as the Normandy American Cemetery speak against one's ideas of invincibility. I wonder what I would have done as an 18-year-old in one of those landing craft on that gloomy day. Would I fail those other boys beside me? Could I even make myself step off the boat? When I was a graduate student at Duke University, my brother paid for the 2 of us to go to Israel. In a rented Peugeot and with a little tent, we improvised our own 10-day tour. One night, we camped at the base of some cliff-like hills on the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee. Unbeknownst to us that night, we were at a place called Kursi, the traditional site of a story found in the Gospel of Mark of a demon-possessed man. The next morning we visited the adjacent ruins and crypt of a Byzantine monastery. There monks had once dwelt alongside the shores and cliffs where, tradition tells us, a demoniac raged. Mark 5, 1-20 recounts an invasion of sorts onto that dark beachhead. With at least 3 boats, Jesus and his disciples had sailed to this other side of the Sea of Galilee. Mark 4:36. Just as Jesus steps out of the boat, a man rushes up. 5:2 and 7. He was demon-possessed, and he would howl in the crypts, bruise himself, and break the bonds with which people tried to restrain him. Verses 3-5. The demon's name was Legion, for there were many of them, numbering perhaps in the thousands. Verses 9 and 13. Mark never states that the disciples stepped off the boat and joined Jesus on that dark beach with its hilltop tombs and a man howling with a legion of demons. Were the disciples afraid? Might Jesus fail? Maybe it was best to stay in the boats. Jesus didn't fail. Encountering him, the demons left the possessed man, who was soon found to be in his right mind and seated near Jesus. Verses 13-15. And so, the Gospel of Mark teaches us that despite some dreadful darkness ahead, Jesus is victorious before we even step out onto the gloomy shores to join him. There is peace in that place ahead. Something to think about. Did you catch that the possessed man was afterward found in his right mind and seated near Jesus? What does that mean? How are you staying in the boat, like the disciples in the Gospel of Mark? Print and ebook editions of And So, Notes on the Bible and Religion are available on Amazon. More information on my work may be found at jasoncdikehouse.com.